You killed some guy.
This is 17-year-old Corey Johnson, a teenage boy who has been brought in for the interrogation of the murder of a 13-year-old boy.
Why couldn't you just stay home and not run away and follow my rules?
A murder that Johnson committed all because he found a new religion, one whose radicalized ideals didn't match those around him.
You've always wanted to kill somebody.
I guess you could say that.
Before you were a Muslim?
No.
Now, Johnson wouldn't pretend to be an innocent man. In fact, he would do quite the opposite, saying what he did proudly, like a soldier who just performed his duties.
Kill somebody for not sharing the same beliefs as you?
After the sacred months have passed, show the pagan worthy from
In the early morning of March 12, 2018, at around 6 a.m., a neighbor from a residence in Balliniles Country Club called 911 to report a terrifying scene.
She rang my bell, she's bleeding. She said that Corey Johnson is out there with a knife. He's a murderer. That's all I know. She's bleeding like crazy here. You gotta send somebody right in.
He called because a woman living in a home next to his had made her way to his front door, bleeding profusely from stab wounds and ringing the doorbell. The man who made the call found 45-year-old Elaine Simon and her son, 13-year-old Dane Bancroft, on his front porch. The mother had been struggling to breathe, but managed to tell the neighbor that there were children still in the house who had also been injured. The 911 operator heard the woman call out the name Corey Johnson.
He had a knife.
On arriving at the scene, a 13-year-old boy, Giovanni Sierra, was found dead in the home. On his body were 49 stab wounds and a cut to the throat. In response, officers made a swift arrest, bringing Corey Johnson into custody. He was arrested and detained at the Palm Beach County Juvenile Detention Center. Surprisingly, Johnson's friend Kyle Bancroft, who was home at the time of the incident, was unharmed. It was supposed to be a morning of celebration for Giovanni Sierra's 13th birthday. Giovanni and Corey Johnson were both guests at Elaine Simon's home, where she lived with her sons, 13-year-old Dane and 15-year-old Kyle. Corey was no stranger to the household. At 17, he had been friends with Kyle for over a decade. Giovanni simply wanted to have a sleepover with his friends, and the family had no way of knowing that 10 years of friendship were about to be discarded in the most violent way imaginable.
All right, Corey, before I get going, I want to just go through and read your rights again and let them out at the scene. Just bear with me while I read through them again, all right?
The detectives read Johnson his rights before proceeding with the interview.
So, how old are you today?
I'm 17.
Okay, what's the last grade school you completed?
I was completed.
What are you in now? You're enrolled now. What are you in?
I was in 11th grade at Dwyer, but I dropped out. I was going to take online school.
Okay, so the last grade you were registered in was 11th. When did you drop out?
I don't know if I'm officially withdrawing yet, but I haven't gone to school for a month or two.
Okay.
Corey reveals he dropped out of the 11th grade just 2 months before this interview. From there, detectives pivot to his friendship with Kyle, trying to find out what led to the meeting at the home.
So did you story together?
That's where I met him. Yes.
But were you classmates for several years, or you just met him there and then
I never saw him at school.
You never saw him at school.
I knew him at ABC Montessori, and then briefly we went to another place when I got too old for that. I went to another place called High Tech Academy. I think they shut down, but he was there briefly, and then he stopped going, but I still kept in touch with him.
Would your mom and his mom contact each other and help you guys get together, or what? How did it work?
They used to be friends, but the past couple of years they stopped liking each other. She has a lot of problems. She has, I think, a heart problem, and then she's got, I think she had like a minor stroke, and she can't remember things properly now, and she's an alcoholic, so we just stopped being friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Being teens?
Yes.
Call each other, right?
What age are we talking about?
More recently now.
Yeah, I used to play with, well, we used to play on the computer all the time, video games, and we talked over Skype and Discord, which I think like Skype, but recently we've been getting out more and going outside and doing things, like eating in restaurants. And
what's your phone number?
my phone number? Yes. I don't know.
It's in your phone?
It is, but we don't really talk over text. We talk over Telegram mostly.
What's Telegram?
It's an anonymous. It's secure, so nobody could read it.
What?
But I do have his number in my phone.
I'm not up on that app. Why not just text each other? I mean,
Because we don't. So I know I was on the FBI terrorist watch list. And
Okay.
They came to his house and they talked to him. So we just followed near security use telephone.
okay. You're a young guy. Why are you on the terrorist watch list?
Because they think I'm going to join ISIS.
Why?
I think I got on the list because I was just on YouTube and I was watching videos, and I guess I didn't know who he was at the time, but you know, Anwar al-Awlaki.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, I guess I stumbled onto some of his videos and then got their attention, I guess.
What year was that?
This was about a year ago.
So it's March of 2018 now. You think it was like March of 2017 or before that?
I think it was March of 2017.
What's on the videos?
I don't remember what I watched.
Okay. Did they come and talk to you personally?
They came to my house, they talked to my mom and myself.
What did they say?
Just trying to, I don't remember exactly what they said, just trying to say, stay away from bad stuff.
Don't watch the
Trying to
videos?
scare me straight. I didn't even know, because the video wasn't about terrorism or anything. I think it was just a history video, but because it was by him, I think that's what got their attention.
So you say it's more like a documentary that was produced by
I
him?
don't remember exactly what it is. There's a lot of accounts that
Okay.
post just random speeches by different. They talked to him a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I think 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. They came to his house and they talked to him and his mom, saying, I'm a threat and I'm dangerous, and they think I'm going to do something.
Why do they think that?
Because I guess, I don't know.
You can be honest. I mean,
I really don't know.
okay.
It is important to note that the police department had received information from the FBI regarding a previous investigation, the details of which we'll dive into shortly, urging officers to use extreme caution when making contact due to violent tendencies.
Do you practice Islam? Do you follow it?
Yes,
Okay. To what extent?
fully.
Fully. Okay, how does that work? I'm not familiar. Do you go to a mosque? Do you contact somebody locally?
Well, I used to go to a mosque maybe 6-7 months ago. I stopped going just because I went during last summer, but then when school started, because nobody would drive me, so I had to ride my bike. And
Where is it?
it's in North Palm, I think.
Where?
I'm trying to think what it's by. It's by a car dealership, and I think it's right on the border of another town. I think it's one of the bad towns, maybe Riviera. I'm not sure.
I think I heard about that mosque. I think they had some vandalism or something. Someone
Yeah.
damaged the windows intentionally.
Yeah, that's the one.
So you say fully. What does that mean? As opposed to like just dropping in. What's the difference?
Well, some people that claim to be Muslim, they just, to the extent that they maybe don't eat pork and they don't drink. I don't do any of that. I pray 5 times a day. I fast during Ramadan. Do all of it.
Okay. So you read the Quran. You follow the tenets. Okay. Are you the only one in your family? How did you get into that?
I got into it online. It matched up with what I already believed in.
Okay.
And then after a while I decided it was right, so I converted.
So this isn't a case where your mom or your neighbor or an aunt or uncle said, "Hey, we go to the mosque. Why don't you come with us?"
Right. Nobody I know, well, I did meet some people at the mosque, but besides that, nobody I know is Muslim.
Okay.
I haven't been home in about maybe a week or so, because I've been having problems with Jay, my mom's boyfriend.
Mhm.
and I've been sleeping different places. Sometimes I slept at Sunset, where I got arrested, and sometimes I slept. One time I slept at my grandma's house, and all the other times I slept at. I broke into this abandoned plaza, it's like a warehouse. I've been sleeping there.
Okay. So because of your difficulties with your mom's boyfriend, you've kind of been out on the streets a bit, sleeping away from home.
Yeah.
Where does Grandma live?
She lives in Twister.
What's her name?
Joanne, she goes by Jody. But yeah, and so today I was gonna go to work. I worked at Winn-Dixie, and I was a stalker.
Which one? The one on North Lake?
No, it's on Military. It's by a CVS and a Jimmy John's. I'm not too good with the road name.
Okay.
I was gonna go there today, but my bike got stolen, so I just decided to walk to I was at the abandoned plaza I was sleeping in. That's around the area I was at. It's Military. No, it's not Military. It's US 1. It's a McDonald's on a US 1. It's near a Publix and a Melting Pot.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. It's up almost near Juneau.
Johnson had not been home for a week before the incident because of issues between him and his mom's boyfriend, Jay. Jay told him to live elsewhere if he did not like the rules at home. He then moved out, sleeping at different places he broke into.
So let's get back to downtown yesterday. You're there last evening, right? What time
Right,
about?
so I walked from there because my bike got stolen. I wasn't going to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just walked to downtown with me. He has a bunch of friends.
Do you go to a movie? Do you go to a restaurant? You just walk around?
We were mostly walking around, but it was someone's birthday today. He's the kid that slept over at my house. And the one that slept over was along with me. We ate there because today was his birthday.
What do you mean was?
I killed him
Where?
at the house
How?
with a knife.
What room in the house?
It was at the top of the stairs.
Second floor?
Yes.
Okay.
And
What happened?
Oh, so yeah, the mom picked us up and dropped us off at the house from downtown.
With the intent what? To have a sleepover?
Yes.
Okay. Had you been sleeping over there previous to last night?
Yes, I've done it multiple times.
Okay.
No, everything was fine. It was just they were listening to music and they were using Juul, which is a vape, and just normal stuff for their age, I guess.
What's Juul?
It's just a little USB sized thing. It's like a vape.
Yeah, was there anything in it?
Yeah, it's nicotine.
Just nicotine.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say they, who are we talking about?
Everyone.
That's it, just those three.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody sharing the vape? Listen to music?
Yes.
Okay, what happens?
Nothing happens. They go to bed and fall asleep there.
Okay, then what happens?
And then I do my thing.
You do your thing. What is that? Be specific for me. I wasn't there.
It's really comfortable.
Did he have an argument with you?
He was asleep.
Did he insult you in any way?
Not personally.
Did he insult Islam?
No, but he was one of the main, like the biggest sin you could do is called shirk, and it could either translate to polytheism or idolatry, and like it's like ascribing false gods. Like, and he was calling people gods.
Did he say that to you?
Just general. I think he was talking to me and Dane.
And he's sleeping at the top of the stairs,
Right.
which is outside of whose bedroom?
There's
where are you?
There's the area, and then there's a hallway, and it leads to their two bedrooms. They're right next to each other. Probably.
Okay. So around what time did he make those statements?
Just
Like earlier at downtown, or while you were hanging out?
it was at the house.
It was at the
I
house.
don't know what time.
Did he know that he
Time it
was?
is now.
Did he know that he was insulting Islam?
But
Okay. But it made you upset.
That's what everyone does. No, it's just I'm used to hearing stuff like that. Didn't make me enraged or anything. Just I acknowledged it.
How did you acknowledge it?
Just in my head, I didn't say anything.
You didn't want to try and convince him or show him your point of view?
No, because people like that generally don't.
He felt Dane made fun of his religious beliefs and the fact that he prayed and kissed the ground. He also claimed Giovanni idolized famous people, referencing them as gods, which went against his religious beliefs. After contemplating while up alone for hours, he then decided to go on a stabbing rampage, as everyone was asleep in the house with no attempt to convince him, because people like that don't usually listen, according to him.
Okay. I want you to feel honest. All right. I want you to be able to tell me what happened. You said you killed him. You said with a knife. I want to know how. What happened? Where did you get? Was it your own?
When I was at the McDonald's, there's a Publix pretty much across the street. So right before I was going to work to Winn-Dixie, I walked there to Publix and I bought some dates, I bought a drink, and I bought a 6-inch utility kitchen knife, which is...
You mean like a box cutter knife or a kitchen knife, like just a straight edge?
It's called a utility knife. It's just a straight edge. I don't
Okay.
know why they call it utility knife. It's kind of like a combination between a chef's knife and a paring knife.
So like an all-around kitchen knife. No serrated blade, no folding, it's just solid. Okay. So why do you buy the knife?
It was for self-defense, I guess. So just Jimmy, I think.
Okay. So do you keep that with you? Do you have
I bought it today, and I was wearing those. I don't know if you saw. I was wearing black pants, and
I
they're
didn't see it.
puffed at the bottom, and they really baggy up at the top. So I had these really big pockets, and it fit in there.
Is it one of these that comes with like a plastic sheath on it?
Yeah, it had a plastic sheath. I left it in the bathroom with my wallet.
You left the knife?
No, because after I went downstairs, all the police, I ran to the computer room, and I originally was in the bathroom, and I took out my wallet and the knife sheath. I had the knife in my hand, and I left them in the bathroom, but for some reason I decided to go to the closet just a little bit away. That's where I hid until I came out.
What was going through your mind? What were you thinking when he's sleeping on the floor? Is it all the insults to Islam that have kind of built up?
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just, that's one of the reasons, but just, I guess, yeah. I guess so.
Well, you tell me. I mean, I want you to be able to express what you feel. I mean, he's asleep, so there obviously wasn't an altercation at that moment. So, what do you think?
Just, I know he's not a good person.
You could say it.
He's not a good person. He does weed. He does stuff with girls, fornication, and I mean, was his birthday. He just turned 13, and just a bad person overall. And then he went and said people or whatever are gods or godlike or something like that. So just all that stuff together.
And you were thinking about that?
Yeah.
Were you supposed to be sleeping in one room and you came out? What room were you supposed to be sleeping in?
No, I wasn't supposed to be sleeping anywhere. I mean, on the floor and the top.
On the top of the landing of the steps?
You go up the stairs, there's an area. That's where
Yep.
I was.
And where were you?
Mattress.
Okay.
I was just on Dane's bed until I decided to go out of the room.
Okay.
Johnson had purchased a 6-inch utility kitchen knife in a Publix store the evening before, the very blade he would later use to take Giovanni Sierra's life. Johnson confessed to the police that at around 4 a.m., when everyone had been asleep, he decided that he would kill Giovanni, Dane, and Dane's mother, Elaine Simon, before they woke up. While Giovanni slept on the floor, he thought of how Giovanni was not a good person in his eyes, smoking weed, fornicating, and calling ordinary people gods.
And the knife is still in your pocket when you leave the room, the bedroom? Okay. Do you take the sheath off in the bedroom?
I had it on and off just because I went out there and I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't do this. And I just was eating and I ended up doing it.
Okay. And how did you do it?
Well, he was sleeping, and I think I had the knife unsheathed, and I stabbed him in the stomach, and then he woke up and started screaming, and then I don't really remember exactly what happened after that.
Did you stab him again?
Yeah, I stabbed him a bunch of times,
Okay, where?
everywhere, mostly in the neck and stomach.
And what was he doing?
He was screaming, trying to save himself.
Was he battling with his hands? Was he telling you to stop? Was he calling for help?
Yeah,
All those things. Do you know if his arms got cut at all when he was trying to fight you off?
I don't know.
And then what happened?
She was just saying, what's going on, you guys are scaring me. And then she eventually came up the stairs and I lunged at her. And she fell down the stairs and I don't know, she was on the floor. So I guess she ran outside and I guess she called the police from there.
Okay.
And I ran back up and
Slice or stab her?
yeah, she got cut a couple times.
Where?
I don't know.
Okay. So she goes downstairs or out of the house?
I don't know, she was left laying on the floor and he said he's scared.
Okay.
I attacked her.
Okay, how?
I don't know, I stabbed him in the stomach, I think.
Okay. How many times did you stab him?
I don't know, a lot.
Okay. And then what happens? Why?
Just because I was on him longer.
Were you able to stab him? Okay.
Corey first approached Giovanni, who was asleep, and proceeded to stab him fatally and slit his throat while he screamed for help. He then lunged at Elaine, the mother of Kyle and Dane, on her way upstairs. This statement is confirmed by Elaine, who was brought in 3 days after this interview. At 5:45 a.m., she awoke to check on the boys upon hearing a commotion. At the stairs, she was met by Johnson, who told her to go back to her room while they sorted out what was going on. She ran up the stairs to see what was wrong, and he attacked her, stabbing her multiple times. Dane Bancroft, Kyle's brother, ran to protect his mother, and he got stabbed by Johnson, too. Luckily, they escaped the home and ran to the neighbor, who called 911.
But I want you to get up and I want you to, I forget what I told him, I want you to just be up and I want you to accept Islam. I want you to be safe, stuff like that.
You want him to convert
Yes,
so that he could be saved?
yes.
And what did he say?
He didn't say anything, he didn't believe me, he was just sitting on the bed and then I opened the door and you could, I think the throat was sliced, blood all over the carpet, and then I think he was just kind of sitting on the bed in shock. And then he was dead at that point.
He was dead at that point.
Lying on the airbed bleeding.
You see, making any sounds, calling for help.
Talking quietly.
Who's he calling?
Just like making noises, not just like noises.
Okay.
I don't think he was calling anyone specifically.
You're talking to him. What's his response to you?
Well, he just woke up, so I think he was half awake, and then he was just kind of sitting on the bed in disbelief. And then, like, he thought I was joking, because we always joke around with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, once he saw them, like, there were no lights in the room, but I guess eventually saw my hands were all bloody, my whole arms, all my clothes were soaked in blood, and just probably on my face too. And he started finding his body, and he started realizing that everything's fine, or not fine, everything's real. I wasn't lying.
Looking out the door?
I don't know if he saw it, but you can see it from where he was.
Mhm.
I don't know if he saw it.
So then what happens? You're asking him to convert.
I didn't expect a response from him because I always talk to him and say, hey, you need to convert. I want you to be saved. I want you to go to heaven, paradise, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And he's like, I think he was getting kind of interested, and then, but he didn't really want to. So I guess he really likes bacon or something. He didn't want to go with bacon.
Is that the response you were surprised by?
No. And he didn't want to break fight. Was my best friend, so I didn't want to attack him like with words, like saying, "Hey, I can't be your friend because you're not going to do this." So.
Because he was at least supportive of your beliefs
Yeah.
throughout your friendship.
He then woke up his best friend Kyle and calmly told him what had happened. He spared him and urged him to remain calm, promising his safety. But even then, he had the unsettling audacity to request that Kyle convert to his faith right there in the room. Kyle, of course, sat there in shock, panicked, realizing he had invited the devil into his home.
Then what happens?
At the house?
Yeah.
I run downstairs into the computer room, and I at this point I was close to passing out because I was just like, my vision was getting all blurry. I could barely stand, and I just sat inside the bathroom for a while, and I was sitting in the shower area.
Okay.
And I took my my wallet out of my left pocket. I took the plastic sheath out of my right pocket. I just put them in the corner. And then after a while, I was thinking this isn't a good spot. So I just house from there. So I just walk over to. There's the computer room. It's got a bathroom on one side and it's got a closet on the other. So I just go over to the closet, and I was hiding in there until I came.
Had you left your wallet and the knife in the bathroom?
Yes.
You did.
The knife sheath. I had the knife on me.
Oh, you kept the knife with you?
Yes.
Okay. What about your phone throughout this? Where's your phone?
I have no idea.
But was it somewhere in the house?
It must have fallen out of my pocket or something when I attacked.
Okay.
Maybe I left it on the top of the stairs.
So you were in the bedroom?
I assume so.
Okay. And then what happens?
Well, I was there for a while, and then.
Is this a clothing closet? Or like a utility closet where they store?
It's like a walk-in closet.
Okay, so you're in there.
Right.
Is there a light on?
Yes.
Is there a window
Yes.
to the outside?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in there, the light's on, then what?
I just waited there for a while. Nothing much happened until the police showed up, and then they started telling me to come out. And I was in there.
How are they telling you to come out?
Just saying, this is whoever, or no, this is the Gardens Police Department. Come out with your hands up.
Okay. And what's your response?
I don't say anything, or I say, La ilaha illallah. And
Can you repeat it? I don't understand.
it's Arabic, it means there is no God but Allah.
Okay.
And I just in there for a while, and I was in there for maybe an hour until they started getting serious, and they brought in like a robot, and they were shooting the door with something. Like I saw the bullet holes.
How do you know there's a robot?
I saw it.
Okay. You have the door open to the closet?
When they were trying to break up, it's just a push, like a fold door, but they were pushing it open with something, and it got open a bit, and it opened even more when I threw down the shelf onto the ground and kind of opened the door too. So I saw the robot, and I heard the robot. It's got the voice saying, "You need to come out." And I eventually just I throw my knife out so they know I'm unarmed, because that's all I have on me. And then I sat in there for maybe another 5-10 minutes, like thinking what to do. And eventually I just they right as I was about to come out, for some reason they threw some kind of gas, tear gas, I don't know. And it started making my face burn, my eyes burn. I couldn't breathe. But I was coming out anyway, so I didn't need to do that.
Just like he didn't need to kill a 13-year-old boy for not sharing his beliefs.
I come out, they say put your hands up, and they get on the floor, and say hit him with the shield, and they smash me down on the floor with the shield. And then they put the wire handcuffs on me.
Okay. And they take you out.
Then
They take you out.
and then
Okay.
everything else happens.
I'm just trying to figure out why you would attack him first if he's the person you met the most recently.
Because he was just the easiest.
The detectives then try to find out his intentions when purchasing the knife, whether he was already planning on killing someone beforehand.
Had you been speaking about your beliefs at all earlier on in the night? And the conversation didn't go well, you got mad, and that's when you planned to do it when they went to sleep?
No, I didn't talk about beliefs.
When you bought the knife, did you have it in mind that you would hurt the next person that insulted you or your religion?
Well, I was thinking for self-defense, but I was thinking like if anything like this happens, at least I have it. So it was mostly for self-defense, especially since my bike got stolen. I saw some kids that might have done it, and I flashed the knife, and they all ran away. But that was yesterday. But I guess I was maybe in the back of my mind thinking I could do something like this, but that wasn't the main plan.
Did you have a location in mind, maybe other than the house or other than these people?
Just anyone.
Maybe people were more strangers, or what was going through your mind?
Just anyone.
He claims he bought the massive knife for self-defense, but had thought that a situation like this might arise. Who thinks situations like this would ever arise if not a psychopath?
So, I want to try and just have you explain to me again the incidents in the house when first he hadn't attacked you physically, right? You weren't.
No,
there was no physical self-defense on
he
your
did
part.
nothing to me personally.
Okay, and no one had attacked you personally, and you didn't pre-plan this. Like, when the time is right, I'm going to use my knife and hurt them. Can you describe to me now what you were thinking? What made you take those actions then?
Well, I wanted to hurt some disbelievers for what they've done, and then everyone. I was just on my phone, and I noticed everyone was asleep, so I figured, I guess now's a good time.
Were you talking to somebody? Or were you reading scripture or what?
I was just watching YouTube videos, like unrelated, and then right before I decided, when I was thinking, maybe I might do this, I was reading just random verses from the Quran.
When you say you were looking at YouTube videos unrelated, what were you looking at?
Just it was just like comedy videos. Really, there's a YouTuber called Grade A Under A. I was just watching his videos, completely unrelated to.
And at some point you switched to reading verses from the Quran?
Well, I was watching that, and then I switched from that to some language videos, because I like languages, linguistics.
Okay.
And after I watched a couple of linguistics videos, that's when I noticed everyone was asleep, and I was thinking, maybe I should do this.
And what time was that? Do you remember from your phone?
Around 4.
Oh, you guys stayed up all night?
Yes.
At what point do you start reading scripture? Right after that? After they go to sleep?
After they go to sleep, and I go out at the top of the stairs. And I was thinking, I don't know how hard it is to kill someone with a knife. And I was just thinking, I was just trying to get some motivation, I guess, for reading the Quran.
Did it help?
Yes.
What specifically?
What do you mean?
Verses, what?
Well, I wasn't reading any verses like related to it. It was about Moses. It wasn't anything to do with what I did or any violence or anything. It's just they called me.
Just before the attack, Johnson read the Quran from his phone to give him the courage to carry out his intentions.
I'm not real versed in the religion, so I'm going to ask the question, and you just tell me yes or no. Was there any type of formal mental decision on your part to hurt disbelievers in general, like prior to that time, or was that just impulsive, like at the moment?
It wasn't impulsive. I knew I wanted to eventually hurt some, in Arabic called kuffar, the singular is kafir, disbeliever.
And what does that mean? What's the translation?
Disbeliever.
Disbeliever.
It's Kappa?
Kafir is the singular, kuffar is the plural.
Oh, okay. And
how-
how it translates to disbeliever?
And how long ago did you know that you wanted to hurt some disbelievers?
A long time. Just,
A year?
yeah, I mean, a couple months after I converted, I guess, when I started learning about the religion properly.
Okay. And we're talking March or
Well, I
June
guess
of last year?
I guess well, I converted on the January 1st of the 2017. So
And how did you convert? How is that done? Is that done at the mosque? Is it done
no,
online?
you just say an Arabic phrase,
Okay.
and then you're Muslim. Well,
Okay.
you
So
start
continue.
praying.
You converted January 1st of 2017.
Yeah, and I guess since the FBI stopped by around March, I guess it stopped around about March, so it was somewhere between January and February, or January and March, where I started learning about that. I guess that's one of the FBI terrorist watch list.
Was there any point that you became more dedicated to that?
No.
For instance, did the FBI visit sway you one way or the other, lessen it or increase it?
Well, at first it scared me a little, so I just started to lay low, but after a while I was just thinking, who cares? And I started being a bit more open about it. Scared him, but it didn't really affect me. They're saying, oh, I think he's going to do something soon. We didn't seem to scare him enough when we came over a year ago.
Did any of that thought process involve any weapon, any gathering of weapons? Do you have guns, explosives?
Well, the FBI was concerned that I get to my mom's boyfriend's guns because he's got a refrigerator-sized safe filled with guns. But I never got him. I never even held it, I don't think. The only thing I knew I could get was a knife, which is why I bought one.
So you couldn't get your hands on any guns? You couldn't get any
Not even if
explosives?
I
or
wanted
anything?
it.
Okay. So there's nothing at your house or your mom's house?
Like guns, explosives.
Yeah, anything like that. Nothing at the abandoned plaza we were talking about? So the only thing you get was a knife? Okay. So would it be accurate to say that you had been thinking about this in some respects since the spring of 2017?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or before the visit from the FBI?
I guess slightly before the visit, and then they got a little scared, and then they visited me, and then it didn't change, so
Okay.
just sort of since then.
Okay.
Johnson had wanted to hurt disbelievers ever since a year before this, starting spring of 2017. Even the FBI had concerns regarding Corey Johnson acquiring a weapon.
How about your health? How's your health?
My health, physical health or
Yeah.
mental health?
Both.
Physical health, I guess I'm alright. Mental health, I take a Zoloft. Well, I haven't taken it in a while. Took Zoloft, like an antidepressant, and I see a psychiatrist and a psychologist.
Okay, so what's the psychiatrist's name?
Psychiatrist?
Mhm.
I've only seen him twice. His last name's Cohen.
Cohen?
Yes.
It's a male?
Yes.
Do you remember his first name?
I don't.
Do you know where his office was? Is it around Gardens Jupiter, or was that at a
It's
hospital?
Further, it's further. I don't know where it is. My mom always drove me there. I've only been there 2 or 3 times.
So it wasn't based in a hospital. It was an office.
Yes.
Okay.
And the psychologist I talked to more. I've talked to him a couple times.
Who's he?
His name is Gary. It's either Wilkin or Whitkin, something like that.
Where's his office?
I think it's near Northlake. It's around that area. It's close to where I was at Mullen Isles. It's near that area.
So somewhere around North Lake and Military?
Yeah.
He's a doctor, a PhD?
Yes.
You said Wilkin or what?
It's either Whitkin or Wilkin.
Oh, Whitkin.
Because
I'll get you some more in just a moment.
okay. Because before I saw him, I saw a counselor, but he wasn't much help. So I stopped seeing him, and his name was one of those. His name was also Gary, and it started with a W, or something like that. So I don't know which one he is. They had almost the exact same name.
Who prescribed the Zoloft?
the psychiatrist come.
Okay.
I
And
was on 50 milligrams for a month, and then I didn't feel anything, so they upped it to 100 milligrams a day.
and when was that? We talking
Recently.
a year, 2 years?
Recently. Weeks, months.
So we're in March now. Would you say it was somewhere around the New Year? Before the holidays? After the holidays?
Even closer. It was really recently.
Recently.
Yes.
And when did you stop taking it?
Well, I just stopped taking it a couple of days ago because I didn't have it on me. I didn't bring it in my backpack. It's at my house, so I couldn't take it.
And how much were you taking it then?
It was just one pill, but it was 100 milligrams a day.
Okay. So you've been off it now for how long? About 2 weeks you said you've been out on the streets?
No, less than. I haven't taken it in maybe like less than a week, couple days, 5 days,
Okay.
4 days.
How do you feel then opposed to now?
I don't feel any difference when I take it or I don't take it.
Okay.
I don't think it's working.
At the time, Johnson was under the care of both a psychiatrist and a psychologist. He had been prescribed antidepressants, but he had stopped taking them a week after leaving home and a week before the murder.
Have you ever been Baker acted where you're taken to a psychiatric hospital?
No.
Okay.
I think my mom's threatened to bring me to one before,
Okay.
just because of like suicidal talk.
And how long have you had suicidal thoughts or talk?
I mean, how long? A month or 2, 3, around there.
Okay.
Just maybe even like, or just like it started in like around 2018. It got serious. Like I've always been unhappy with. It's gotten more serious in 2018.
Okay. You go to a psychiatrist and do you sit down and talk with him for some length of time? Does he
The
administer any tests?
psychiatrist I don't talk to. He just prescribes the medicine. The psychologist is the one I talk to and
Right.
discuss my day with.
So let's start with the psychiatrist first. He was first out of the two professionals?
First I visited.
Yes.
No, my mom was worried about me, so she got me to a psychologist, and the
Okay.
psychologist said I needed to see a psychiatrist to prescribe me the medicine.
Okay. Did either person talk with you and tell you or confirm what you thought you were suffering from?
No.
So did they tell you what the medication was supposed to treat?
It's supposed to make you just more motivated, less depressed feeling.
Less depressed. Okay. You feel you were depressed then?
Yes.
Okay. And you feel that took part or had anything to do with what happened last night or early this morning?
Well, I guess because I don't really care about my life, I figured if I die from the police, then it doesn't really matter.
Why?
Because I don't really feel like I wanted to be alive, because I don't enjoy life.
And that's been mostly since 2018, or was it earlier than that?
I've always felt like that, but it's gotten worse in 2018.
You said your physical health is fine, so you've seen doctors where you have no complaints?
Yes.
Okay. Do you suffer from any seizures or any traumatic brain injuries or anything?
No.
Okay.
Johnson had been troubled, depressed to the extent that he thought about suicide. He had the thought, which contributed to his actions, that if he died at the hands of the police, his life would be over, bringing him the end he was seeking. A more familiar face enters the room. An FBI investigator who had interrogated Johnson a year prior and had been monitoring his activities ever since, steps in to confront him about the murder.
You know who I am, Corey. I was at your house a year ago.
You work for
You remember my name?
I don't.
You know where I work for?
FBI.
Okay. What was I doing at your house a year ago?
Trying to say I'm a bad person. Trying to stop what I'm doing.
Was I trying? Or was I saying you were a bad person? Was I telling you to stop what you were doing?
Yes.
Alright, well, we're going to talk about what happened in the last 24 hours. Because I know everything you've been up to for the last year and a half at least.
They have reason to believe his actions may have involved contacting ISIS due to the violent videos Johnson had been watching around the time.
Alright, we're going to go over a few things here today. Most importantly, and probably the most urgent, I need to know if you were in contact with anybody else. But are you a part of ISIS? Do you pledge your support to ISIS, your allegiance?
I guess you could say that.
Have you ever talked to anybody from ISIS that you
No.
believe?
No.
Who'd you pledge your support to?
Caleb.
Sorry, say that again?
Caleb.
Okay. I talked to you a year ago. You told me you converted, you took the Shahada in your bedroom. You also told me that, you know, you believed in the Quran and believed in being a good Muslim. In fact, after I spoke to you, it sounded like your grandmother was driving you to a mosque to actually get an education at the mosque and not self-educate on the internet. What happened?
Well, I had to ride my bike there. I wasn't being driven, and then when school started, I just stopped going because I didn't have time.
Okay. But when would you say, I mean, when did you start supporting the extremist views of Islam?
I don't support extremism.
Didn't you just stab someone to death?
Yes.
For not believing in the same...
That's not extreme.
It's the religion.
It's what?
It's the religion.
Elaborate.
That's what we have to do.
You have to do, tell me what you have to do. What does that mean? To stab your best friends, brothers, friends? What does that mean? What do you have to do?
I have nothing to say.
I gotta be honest, man. I'm interested in this. Like, I want to understand the religion. I don't understand the religion that well. So if it's not extreme,
You work for the FBI too?
He's my
Yeah,
partner.
I work for the FBI, yes, sir. Explain to me, like, why? Is it, if you support religion, did this guy badmouth the religion? Is that what you mean by it's part of the religion, you have to stand up for it? Or explain to me
No,
what
you didn't
happened?
say anything directly.
You're not, okay. So just tell me your story then, what happened?
He didn't do anything to me personally that anyone else didn't do.
What do
So
people,
why
I'm
him?
sorry, let's talk about that. What else have people done to you? What's
Yeah.
angered you?
Nothing about anger. It's just what the disbelievers do.
People who don't believe in ICE in what?
Islam. The religion. Not whatever group you think I'm a part of.
I don't know what you're part of. What?
I'm confused. So you're saying you're a good Muslim.
Right.
Yet you interpreted the Quran in a way that would allow you to kill somebody for not sharing the same beliefs as you.
After the sacred months have passed, kill the pagans wherever you find them.
Did you ask him to convert and he wouldn't?
No,
How did you know he wasn't a Muslim?
because the way he acts, he doesn't pray.
So you were praying and he wouldn't pray next to you?
No, not that. I know it just the way he acts, and plus when I went to pray, he didn't pray, so I'm positive he wasn't Muslim.
So you guys were celebrating, at least it sounds like there was a birthday party for somebody.
It was his birthday.
It was his. So you're telling me everybody else in that group are Muslims?
No,
So the one you prayed 9 days ago, he's not a Muslim.
I was my best friend. I wouldn't kill him. Well, he was my best friend.
But he's not a Muslim though. So you guys don't share.
He's not your best friend now?
I mean, you just say you ratted me out, and I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate me stabbing his brother and mother.
No, I don't think he does.
Are you remorseful for stabbing them? Or was it just, that's just part of the game for you?
Yeah, I probably should have done something different.
All right.
What, did he know you were going to do this?
No. He didn't tell me.
This was premeditated. You brought a knife. You brought a knife. So this wasn't a knife you found at the house. You actually brought a knife there.
I brought a knife, but it wasn't for that. It was just, I bought a knife for self-defense, and it just happened that this was an easy opportunity because they were all sleeping in different rooms.
Okay.
Pay attention to Johnson's behavior throughout this interview. What some people may find most disturbing is that he shows no form of remorse or emotion. This is not a confession, it's a proud statement from a psychopathic fanatic.
Is it because you were caught? Because you genuinely feel bad that
There was no way I was going to escape that. I didn't think at all that there was any way I could escape that. So it's not that I was caught or anything.
All right, we're gonna go back a little bit. You know, I know you're a little bit newer to the investigation, but you're up to speed. When I saw you a year ago, I was confronting you about the online threats to that school, the Macaulay High School. Okay,
Right.
and that was a big deal. I told you it made the news over there. Kids were pulled out of school because of the threats. Since then, everybody in your family has told me that you've changed. You knocked that stuff off. You weren't even spending much time on the computer.
The Macaulay thing was before I was even a Muslim. It was completely unrelated. I did it by mistake.
What do you mean before you were Muslim? You used Daesh as one of your screen names.
Daesh is an insultive name. It's not. It's an insult. Because it sounds similar to another Arabic word that I think means oppressor or something like that.
So you weren't Muslim, but you were using ISIS-inspired threats. You told the girl that she would marry a fighter.
I don't remember exactly what I said, but
I do.
Yeah, I wasn't Muslim then, and Daesh is an insulting name for that group.
When did you become Muslim? When did you take the Shahada?
January 1st, 2017.
The FBI had been investigating terrorist threats and had reason to look into Johnson. He had made threats against Macaulay Catholic High School in the United Kingdom, threats so severe that up to 100 students were removed from the school in fear of an attack. He was also reported for communicating with ISIS and other terrorist organizations.
All right, we bounced around a little bit. Let's go back to yesterday. What happened? Tell me. I want to know everything from the time you woke up Sunday morning yesterday.
Sunday morning yesterday?
Yeah, you were at your house in Jupiter?
No, I was at, and you can't look at the video that they just recorded. I was at an abandoned plaza, which I was sleeping inside of.
What's the address?
No address. It's the McDonald's near the melting pot on US 1. It's by there.
I need to know exact. Can you pull it out on your phone? Do you have a phone on you? I need to know on the map what that is. Right, McDonald's near US 1?
Yeah. So anyway, I was around there, I slept there, I woke up there, and I was just up and about. I went to McDonald's for breakfast.
Why weren't you at home? Why weren't you living at home?
Because of having problems with Jay.
What's the problem?
He's just abusive.
Abusive, physically or verbally?
Both.
He's hit you?
He's pushed me down, he shoved me against walls, stuff like that. He's never punched me.
What about the verbal abuse? What happened?
Just saying I'm lazy and immature and getting up in my face, yelling and screaming.
Did he tell you that I spoke to him recently?
No, he didn't, but I know.
What do you know? How do you know?
I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble.
No, listen, the only person that's in trouble right now is you, okay?
Alright, well, I know he was instructed not to tell anyone. He told my mom, and he told my mom not to tell anyone, and my mom told me.
When did you decide you were going to commit these attacks?
Once everyone was asleep.
No, that's when you found an opportunity to commit the attacks. When did you decide I want to
attack someone in general? Or them?
Them? No, I mean, obviously you were...
Forever, I guess.
You've always wanted to kill somebody.
I guess you could say that.
Before you were a Muslim?
No.
So since becoming a Muslim, you
Sure.
you wanted to kill. Okay.
You never had thoughts of harming other people. You attacked your sister before you converted.
No, yeah, that's another thing that was inaccurate. She did sleep with a...
A week and a half ago?
She did sleep with a knife, but it had nothing to do with me. She just did that. And the thing about me kicking her in the head was, it was some altercation. We were arguing about something, and I ended up hurting her badly somehow. I don't remember if it was kicking or hitting, but I guess she wasn't hurt physically, but I guess it hurt, but she wasn't damaged at all. And I guess the next day at school, she reported it to the school police, and they opened a domestic violence case. But the knife was, I think the knife was even before that. It was unrelated to.
But my point is, you had violent tendencies before converting.
No.
You
kicked a girl in the head.
Your sister.
No, we all. Alright, she was fighting me too, so.
How old your sister?
She's 15 now, she was probably 14 or 13 then.
So you guys were this was just roughhousing
Rough
around.
housing, and then we actually got into an actual argument, and then that's when things escalated. She was throwing things at me, I ended up hitting her or kicking her or whatever I did. The knife was unrelated.
Okay.
In December 2016, whilst in 10th grade, Corey was reported by his sister for punching her in the head. She stated she had been concerned by his anger and bullying issues.
How long have you known him?
I met him yesterday at the downtown.
You met him yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
And how do you know
And
he was
you-
having sex and smoking weed? And
He bragged about it.
You know what kids do?
I'm well.
I mean, bragging and kind of
Yeah.
cool, but just him even saying that was worth him dying over.
The main thing was because he's not Muslim. He's a citizen of this country.
So your belief is that every person who's a citizen of this country and is not Muslim should be dead?
No, you're attacking our country, your government, and killing the citizens. And the Quran says, fight them as they fight you, or something along those lines.
Okay.
So you're killing our innocent civilians.
So you feel it's right?
Same
to do
retaliation, yeah. Just all that extra stuff with the fornication and the weed and the shirk, that's just all extra.
So, do you know how many people you killed?
No. I know I killed.
He's dead.
I saw him. He was squirming and moving, and then he just stopped.
After you cut his throat.
Yes.
Did you have any regrets at that point?
After I started stabbing him, I think I stabbed him in the stomach first. And he started squirming. I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have done this.
But then you killed him anyway, cut his throat.
Oh, why? Why did you have that doubt at that point?
Because it's just, at that point, like, it was realized, oh, I just ruined my life, and then,
So this wasn't about feeling bad for the trauma you inflicted on people, seeing him writhing in pain.
that's a little bit.
But mostly because this was self-preservation. That's where the regret came from.
Yes, yeah, sure.
So why not run out of the house at that point? Why run back in and start killing other people? Or stabbing other people?
Run back in?
No, I mean, not run out of the house. If self-preservation was on your mind.
Yeah, if you felt bad, you thought you screwed your life. Well, you just decided, screw it, I'm going to keep going now?
Well, after I was attacked, I woke up and she came and said, what's going on? And she eventually came up the stairs, and then that's when she saw me covered in blood with the knife.
What did you do to her?
And then I lunged at her. I don't know if I hit her or not, but she ended up falling down the stairs. And then when she was on the floor, I stabbed her.
Where?
I think in the stomach. But she was kicking, so I don't know if I actually hit her or not.
Why shut down that school? Why send those things? Do you like a girl over there? What was that about?
That was just a prank I did with my friend
Which friend?
in the UK.
Okay, so you have a friend over there. You just met him online.
What was the name?
I'm not giving the name, but they probably know him over there. One day I talked to him.
He went to that high school.
No.
No?
He lived in a different city. This was before, we were both white nationalists before, and then we both converted to Islam. And
Go back to that part. White nationalists. Explain that to me.
we're both basically white supremacist racist people.
Okay.
Luckily we were both safe from that.
What group were you part of?
No groups. It was just an Instagram thing. We're both running like conservative Instagram things.
Okay.
How were you saved from that?
By Islam. We both converted. Kind of helping each other with that. And anyway, before we both converted, we were just both screwing around. We decided to make these fake ISIS accounts. And it wasn't, I don't even think that was the first time, like the time that it was probably like my second account, fake ISIS account, just messing with people. And then I guess it got out of hand because the threat that I posted got actually spread outside of Instagram onto Snapchat and Facebook or whatever the article said it. And people thought it was real, and then the actual school got shut down. I didn't do it on purpose, it was just by mistake. We were just messing with people. It was a prank, pretending to be ISIS.
But there was some girl involved too, right?
I remember talking to girls, I don't remember what I said.
You meet this guy online, and you're a white supremacist, but most ISIS people are not white. So if you have hatred towards people who aren't white, why join a group that's predominantly not white?
Didn't join a group, it was a prank. At that point, we both didn't like Muslims at all.
Right, that's what I would think.
That's why it was funny at the time.
That was October of 16. You converted on January 1st of 17. Just talking about a couple months. How did that happen so quickly?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just started liking it. Thought it was the truth.
Did you like it because they were more violent than the white supremacists? And part of you likes the violence?
I wasn't originally supportive of the. I mean, I sort of supported the violence, but I wasn't really into the ISIS until after a couple of months.
As a white supremacist, so as a Muslim, you killed people who weren't Muslim. As a white supremacist, did you ever have plans on killing blacks or Hispanics?
I never had any plans for that.
No.
I've read a police report at your high school that...
Yeah, on the video it said apparently I threatened blacks at Dwyer, but I never had any trouble at Dwyer except for one time I got punched, and that was completely unrelated. But some guy bumped into me in the hallway. I told him to watch where he was going, and he ended up punching me. That's the only trouble I've ever gotten in at Dwyer, so I don't know where the threatening blacks came from.
All right, so you switched to ISIS, and you're kind of talking with this guy online, and you guys both agree the white supremacy thing's not cool, and ISIS is more cool.
No, not really.
Okay, walk me through it.
We were both white supremacists at that time, but we were thinking like, because the reason I got into the white supremacy in the first place is because I was just trying to find out something that's moral, something that's away from like degeneracy and all that kind of stuff. And I thought what I thought at the time was maybe white people are better in that regard than non-whites. But after being in the community for a while, I saw that not only the white people, but just the white supremacists were just as bad as everyone else, if not worse in some regards.
Okay, how so?
So that's just with fornication and doing drugs and stuff like that. Just stuff like that.
Okay.
So at that point I was kind of disillusioned with the white supremacist thing, so that's why I was searching for other alternatives.
And you find this online?
I find Islam first, not like ISIS first.
Okay.
So then I become Muslim.
As early as middle school, school officials took note that Johnson had an obsession with Nazis and white supremacists, and he had been reported for antagonizing female, Jewish, and LGBTQIA classmates. Next, the detectives proceed to invite Johnson's mom for a conversation with her son, so she can talk to him one more time before he is punished for the crimes he has committed. She would find that not only does she not know her son anymore, but he has become a monster.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
I killed somebody.
You killed some guy.
I guess. Yes.
Why?
Got to.
And what were you trying to do?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
When did you get to their house?
Last night.
You were staying at their house?
So for that?
I know
Yes.
that you were staying at their house last night.
Yes.
Well, why was everyone rushing upstairs?
Because I heard the guy screaming.
What guy?
The guy I stabbed. I don't know.
Some guy I don't know.
His friend.
He's a kid. He's 13.
He was.
He's dead?
I guess.
Why did you stab him?
And I haven't slept in a minute. They wouldn't tell me.
But what did the kid do?
Nothing.
Were you all sleeping in the same room?
No, it was all different parts of the house.
Where did the knife come from?
I bought it at Publix.
No, why couldn't you just stay home and not run away and follow my rules?
Your rules are dumb.
Well, now you're gonna have really dumb rules.
Jay said if I don't like the rules, leave the house. So I did. Your boyfriend told me to do that. Yeah?
Eating in your room and coming in at a decent hour is
I-
not bad. Now the rules you're gonna have to follow are gonna be way worse.
You know my eating schedule? I eat one meal a day and I snack. If you're taking away the snacks, you're taking away half my food.
You know how to make food.
Yes, I know.
I don't want to talk about that.
I know.
Why would you hurt someone?
Because he's not Muslim.
Because he's not Muslim? Oh my God. I'm not either.
I'm not gonna hurt you, Mom.
I don't know. I don't know what's happened to you. Why? I don't know why you would do this. You're in big trouble.
I know.
You may have killed someone? Nobody will tell me anything. I don't know.
One, maybe two. I don't know.
One, maybe two, maybe three. It doesn't matter to you.
There's nothing I could do now. Just sit here.
Because I don't want you to...
Wouldn't let me stay outside. That's just one reason, Mom.
No.
This is a straw that the camel got.
It doesn't really matter what my rules in my house are now, because you're not there. And you won't be. Seriously, can you tell me why you did that?
I did.
Were you sleeping?
I was the only one awake.
You were just laying awake all night?
I wasn't tired. It was at 4 in the morning.
And what was the other kid doing? Sleeping?
Everyone was sleeping.
And you stabbed someone and they were sleeping? Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't even know you.
If you're gonna say that, you might as well.
I don't know you. So somebody was sleeping.
I don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah. Probably should have a lawyer.
I already talked to the FBI and the police.
We probably should have a lawyer.
Too late now.
What's the kid's name? What did he do to you?
Nothing. He didn't do anything.
Then why is he stabbed?
No, I said I don't want to talk about it.
I really don't. I don't know. You need help. You need your help. I've been trying to get you help. obviously nothing worked. Well, what now, Corey? What
I
now?
don't know. What, do you know what time it is?
It's like one
It's 1 already?
ish. Can I have them? Covered in blood.
First fiber.
I love you.
Well,
That's incredibly stupid. I have nothing else to say. I love you.
Can I use the restroom? Oh, good.
That's what
I know.
Yeah, you good?
Can I use the restroom?
Again? Holy cow.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's 1:30. Let him bring your mom
No,
downstairs.
I don't need to use the restroom, but I need to do something with water because I have time to prepare.
Okay. Give me a second when he comes back. All right. What do you got to do?
I gotta wash my hands and it just like hurts my body before prayer.
Okay. Can I wait for the other detective to come back?
3 years later, in November 2021, now 21 at the time, Corey Johnson was sentenced to life in prison after testifying in his sentencing hearing that he took the life of the innocent 13-year-old boy in the most heinous way possible. Just like when he was interrogated, he sat stone-faced and showed no emotion. After admitting what he did, he apologized and said he did not expect forgiveness. He then denounced the Islamic State, saying he had done research in jail. Johnson's defense tried to use an insanity defense due to exposure to violent video games, brainwashing from ISIS and Nazi propaganda, but the prosecution maintained that everything was a choice by Johnson. A child psychiatrist took the stand that Johnson had severe depression, which got worse over time, leading to the stabbing. A psychologist for the defense even testified there was some planning leading to the attack, as Johnson had purchased a kitchen knife from a store hours before the deadly attack. The judge pointed out that Johnson posed for a selfie holding the knife just minutes before he stabbed Giovanni to death. He was found guilty of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. The family of Corey sued Publix, the supermarket chain, for selling the knife to the killer. It is against the law of Florida to sell weapons, including knives, to people under 18. Giovanni's grandmother believed Johnson had never known love in his life and refused to judge or condemn him. Giovanni's mother, Karen Sierra Velez, who was 18 when she had Giovanni, stated she was not ready to say goodbye. Corey's mother, who was said to have been very sick with COVID at the time, did not appear in court. Johnson's grandmother testified that Johnson's mother would oversleep regularly, leading the kids to miss school, which made Johnson more withdrawn. She also testified that Johnson's father, who died of a heroin overdose, had been abusive towards his mother. She said he loved his son and they would play video games together.